And we are live. What's going on, everybody?
Put your balls away, Mav.
Damn it. Are they showing again?
Maybe yours would be on the floor.
Come on, guys. I got to take care of this real quick.
He's got big balls.
All right, now we're live. This is episode 101. I don't know what the hell's going on, but we're live. What's up, everybody? Shout out to the chat.
Pong took it left first again.
What's up with that, Pong? I was trying to run a clean show today. There was going to be no left or anything.
Okay.
We were going to be straightforward, and you had to say balls.
Psycho's
and
here. What the fuck? Come on.
You're right. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 101. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, last week was a blast. We had our episode 100, and we had 3-Bit here. Where is he tonight? I don't know. we had Psycho here as well. Absolute a blast last week. I want to thank everybody for tuning into that show and for coming out for this show as well. Anybody watching live after the fact, I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. We got a lot to talk about today. It has been absolutely bananas with the whole back and forth between Sony and Xbox. We got potential xCloud news, or the cloud gaming news with Xbox. We got Gamescom coming up. We also have more delays. We have more delays. Man, we had a THQ show. We did get some cool little things from there.
Where they showed like 1/3 of what they're actually making.
Right.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah, THQ, like go for it.
Yeah.
Let's go THQ. Like get it. It's awesome that they have so much that they're working on. But yeah, it was also like, we already had Monday was a bad day for delays, and now the end capping the week with, what did I say on Monday on FSP is like, Hogwarts is getting delayed.
Yeah, you're saying everything. Oh, you're saying,
saying
Saints
everything.
Row, fucking Gotham Knights.
Just wait, we'll see. No, Saints Row, I said it's not getting delayed because it's in August, right? That's too soon. However, anything like later this year, I'm just saying, guys, like, don't count on it. It's just like, this is a bad luck year. I don't know. But
next week it's gonna be Madden and Call of Duty.
those are like the only two games, and NBA 2K. Those will not get delayed. FIFA or whatever they call it this year. EA Sports Football Club, I think, or EA Football Club's what's gonna be called now. None of those games gonna get delayed. It's just gonna be the big ones that everybody's looking forward to. The big AAA like stuff, and we just gotta have to wait on some of these, I guess. But hey, let's get to some intros. First, to my heart lovely wife, Kaitlin. Hey, baby, did you get the internet connection fixed?
I did. I had to switch again, which sucks because I can't work on any of my stuff during the show, but that's fine.
Yeah, sorry, that sucks. That does suck.
Yeah, the weird thing is it's been fine every single week except for last week and now this week.
Maybe we need to reset it.
But it has been acting funny the past like week. So
well, at the end of our show yesterday, we lost connection right at the end. Like right when we were doing our outros.
Just me, so I kept like restarting like YouTube. But when someone else in the chat said that y'all were like froze, I was like,
I thought my internet just fucked up. But
yeah, that's what I had thought.
It was like literally right at the very end of the show, the stream went kaput out of nowhere. So it worked out. I mean, it's better than the beginning of the show. I'm crossing my fingers.
You guys have done your outros and everything.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, how are you doing, Jasper?
All right. I was playing some Spider-Man with an Xbox controller just a few minutes ago before I hopped on Restream here. Nice.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You were looking forward to playing Spider-Man. You never got to play it before, right?
Nope.
You enjoying it?
Yeah, I only got to play like maybe 30 minutes of it, so not too far into it, but liking so far.
Yeah, it's a good game. Do you have like what frame rate are you able to play it at? Like, are you able to play?
So I'm getting about like on average like 70 FPS. So
okay, cool, man. Yeah, it's better than what was it, 30 frames on the PS4? Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I played it at 30 frames when I played it. So I'm sure that's awesome. Pong Soul. What's up, dude? We had a crazy show last night. It like blew by, dude. Like that was like a really fast 3 hours. And I'm staring at a man whose face is frozen. on the screen, and I don't know if he can even see or hear what we're talking about right now because I saw him just move a little bit. So I'm just gonna stare at him a little bit
like
longer.
1 FPS.
And,
He's trying to play Spider-Man right now.
yeah. Are you? Can you hear us, Pong? Nod or
I can.
Oh, okay. What's up, Pong? How are you doing, man?
I can hear you. Yes.
That was a
I'm doing
film
fine,
23.
except for my.
You having those
Listen,
issues with the
listen.
mic thing again?
No, no, I don't even have the app up, so it's Restream. Restream and whatever. Surface Pros don't like each other, I guess, because I
Right.
lose. I don't know why, because it was running just fine in the beginning. The minute I pull up Twitter, it fucking goes to shit. So whatever. I just closed out of Twitter. I was gonna tweet out the show, but whatever. Hey,
Man, we
everybody.
need that tweet. You get your 3,000 followers, Pong. Come on.
Do it on your phone.
I know, brother. I was trying to do it, but whatever. That's fine.
It's
hey,
okay, I'm
Chat,
just
you're
kidding.
all looking amazing, by the way. Hey, PTK Blam just dropped in here. Brother, what's going on, man? Good to
Yo,
see you. Boom is in
PTK,
here.
Boom.
Man, listen to this.
BTK.
We got some of the best people ever in this community that hop into all of our shows. Thank you all for
Yes.
being here. But family, it is good to see you. It is delay season, as Mav started saying. It is getting crazy out in these gaming streets with the delays. But you know what? We still got a lot of good things coming up to play. We got some good topics tonight too. And Jasper, I know you are interested, along with Lady and Cloud and Way of the Hunter.
Yeah,
coming out.
getting hyped for that game.
Yeah, I just watched THQ, and they did a nice little showing of it, and then I watched ACG's review of it, and he absolutely loved it. So
Really?
that's looking like a cool game coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're gonna stream that, right, Jasper?
Yeah, I want to be like a crazy redneck, go out there hunting some deer or something.
That's not
You
not
gotta
gonna be a
like-
stretch.
ACG said that he had one deer hunt that took him 5 hours and to kill one deer. And he's a real life hunter. ACG is actually goes out and he's an actual hunter. So he's speaking from experience, and he's like, this is like top tier for hunting games now. This has moved all the way up, and he's absolutely loving it. So yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, should be a cool game.
Babe, is that the game that you like put on Twitter? Should you get it?
No, I was talking about Cult of the Lamb,
Oh, okay.
which is a game that a lot of people are talking about right now. It came out yesterday, I think. It's a
I don't
it's a
care.
indie-
I just want seeing if it was the same game.
Yeah, shout
Okay.
out to Development
No, it
Digital.
wasn't the same.
They're the best out there.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
How are you doing? The mellow fellow from outer space back in Florida. How are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm just sitting here with these professional panelists that we have tonight. It is amazing. I
Professionals.
love it. I can't wait to get in these topics we have on this evening. And yeah, if you love Xbox, this is the place to be tonight.
Yeah, professional panelist, very unprofessional host. That's for sure. What is up to the always fuzzy one, Mr. Fuzzy Belvedere? How are you doing, dude?
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Glad to be here. Man, interesting gaming news, some recent releases. I actually got to I wound up picking up Cult of the Lamb. If you like Animal Crossing, or if you like a cutesy version of Hades, that's kind of where it's at. So it's definitely fun. You can always have your cult do or have like weird looks to them, or just have them do weird seances and things like that. So
Yeah.
having fun with it for right now.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting it out because it's got a lot of people being like, "Yeah, this is really good," and having a lot of fun and stuff. People that I don't even usually see like playing those kind of games, right? So that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to checking it out. Did you drop something, baby? Are you
What are
okay?
you doing, Caitlin?
Huh?
What was
What
that?
are you doing?
Oh,
You're not muted.
sorry.
You're not muted.
Sorry.
I just heard something fall and be like, "Fuck."
Fuck.
I dropped my little Michael Myers action figure and Mark.
Just over here
And
playing
Mark.
with toys. Why would you fun?
He's like, la 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 la.
She calls the Spartan Funko Pop Mark because when we
Well, there's a funny story behind
Yeah.
why I call him Mark.
yeah.
Because I had bought him a Funko Pop to surprise him with for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I was worried, and I was like, this just looks really cool. Like, I love the colors. And I started to get worried that maybe he doesn't like this character in Halo. So I ended up in bed one night. I was like really nervous, and I like I was like, okay, I got you something for Christmas, and I'm gonna tell you because I'm nervous that you don't like this character. And I was like, his name is Mark. And then he just started laughing, and I didn't know why he was laughing.
It's because it's the name of the armor.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's
I just
Mark.
thought that it was
I don't
Mark.
remember which is it. Mark.
She's like, you like Mark from Halo? Like, who the fuck is Mark?
No, it's what? Mark. I know John. You know, I mean, I didn't know Mark, but you know, it's I do love the Funko Pop, babe. But yeah, that was funny. All right, guys. Well,
Yeah, the funny thing is why I have a Mark also
yeah.
is because like I think like 2 years ago, Lady got me it for my birthday.
Yep. She did. And you actually were
So-
playing with that Mark right now.
So now
right?
I have Mark too.
Yeah. Is it Mark 2 or is it Mark 8 or Mark 7?
Or Mark 4.
It's Mark 2, duh, because you have Mark 1.
Well, I know, but the Roman numerals on your Mark. Oh, you don't have the box anymore.
I don't have him in the box.
Oh, yeah, she unboxes
I
her
just
Funko.
fell.
You took them out of your box?
Yes.
Okay.
Mark is no longer in my wife's box. All right, Alvin with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, Alvin. Thank you so much. Saying, was thinking about Cult of the Lamb, but I'm the guy who never does a Renegade run. Always Paragon. Don't think I could do what needs to be done. LOL. Yeah, do you got to be a little like bad
no.
dude in this? Or?
Alvin, you can send people to heaven in though. You can send
Yeah.
people to heaven though.
Can
so,
you
yeah,
can you have
you're
like a
still
little
gonna do
flower
bad
child
things, but
cult?
You can make, yeah, you can give them option to go to heaven. You don't have
Right.
to be the flat out killer like Jez. Shout out to Jez and Rand today. Jez was talking about his cult being he's cannibalistic, for God's sakes, man. You don't have to do that.
Jesus.
So there are options.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Maybe I'll try that. You know what? Other thing I was playing was 2 Point Campus. Jasper's been playing way more of that, and I found out that if you don't have enough toilets, which apparently Jasper said that he did have enough toilets, your students will literally just shit on the sidewalk.
Oh, so it's like a normal college.
pretty much.
And you just see like a little turd on the sidewalk, and then your janitor goes and like sweeps it up.
He just sweeps it up with a regular
I don't
broom.
get paid enough
You
for
know?
this.
That's great. So I haven't played enough of that game. I need to play more of it, but I was playing the Diofield Chronicle, a demo.
That kind of ties in with this episode 101. We got 2 Point Campus and Hogwarts, both school games, and it's 101.
Yeah. This is episode 101. We're going to take you to class now. We're going to teach everybody about game delays. All right, so game
Shitting on
delays
sidewalks.
and shitting on sidewalks. I think maybe like somebody like shit on the sidewalk of the developers of Hogwarts Legacy, and they like spent too much time cleaning it up that they had to delay the game.
Mark.
That is Mark. So what is caused? We already talked about this on PM and the PM last night, Pong and I a little bit, but like this is another one. You know,
This
we.
is my other toy.
Thanks for showing us, babe. I love it. That's she also has another Michael Myers, and you can check that out on our TikTok video. She made a TikTok of it.
I didn't know it was show and tell episode. Are we supposed to bring stuff?
It is, I guess. You know.
Okay.
Do you
I'll
have
find
Do you have
something.
anything to show me, Pong?
Well, I've of course. I mean, I've got the original Voltron.
Oh my
So,
god.
You know,
This is his
you know, yeah. So
Just interrupting. Nice, the original Voltron. I know you have Robotech stuff too.
yeah,
I
I
got
got
some-
Robotech stuff.
You can't really see it, but it's Beskar from Mandalorian. It's a little keychain.
Is that really Beskar? Like, is that the real
It's
thing?
just- that's not a real thing. It's
Yes,
just metal.
Jetfire.
Jetfire original.
Wow,
I'm sorry, but
Jetfire.
this is
What?
actually a brilliant idea for an episode to do show and tell.
Well, I can show.
Did
I'm
you
just
just
kidding.
stumble
All
upon something?
You already showed your balls.
right. No, I got it.
I'll fix it later.
Here's Mark. Everybody, another version of Mark.
That's not Mark. That's Master Chief.
It's Mark's Mark 7, right?
No, that's Master Chief.
I know. A Master Chief. Yeah. All right. So what are we doing right now? Oh, hey, Jasper's gonna like this one.
Oh, Korg. Yeah.
I know Jasper
That's
likes
my
this guy.
Happy Meal.
I don't think I have any Marvel toys.
No, I got Grimlock from McDonald's, and here's and Megatron. I got a Soundwave somewhere. All right, can we actually talk about gaming?
I got a Funko Pop Joker over there, but
Do you? I got some Funko Pops back there too. All right,
Since we're showing things.
Oh geez, what have we started? What is that? Oh, that's Marcus Phoenix in a Tebow pose.
Nah.
Is he Tebowing? No. Oh, there's a Grimlock. No, that's not Grimlock. That's just Slag.
Nice.
Yeah.
Slag.
That is the Gears of War 3 collector's edition. And then I got the helmet over there, but yeah, you know.
Oh, jeez, y'all are gonna make me go get my hot rod.
You guys just couldn't give me my moment, could you?
No. We all got toys.
Yeah, we don't want to see the rose though. We do not.
The rose.
Yeah, we don't want to see the rose.
What is that?
Your other toy.
Okay.
Dr. Dignol, I got the Gen 1 Soundwave as well. I've got a bunch of the tapes too. So
so amazing. Which tapes do you have? You have like Rumble?
Yeah, I got Rumble. I've got Laserbeak.
Laserbeak is the best.
Yeah, and then I've got Panther too, or whatever his name was. I always forget.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, the Panther. So
yeah.
Yep.
I thought it was Ravage or Savage or something.
Ravage.
Yeah,
I think it's
right.
Ravage.
Ravage.
I think it's
Ravage.
Ravage.
Randy Savage.
Ravage.
Oh yeah, brother.
All right.
Psycho, I don't have the rose anymore.
Oh, okay.
I threw it away after you borrowed it when you were here.
Yeah. Sorry. Never mind. I'm not even gonna go there. Anyways, let's go on some topics tonight. So yeah.
Wait, I think we have one more show and tell here.
All right.
Hot Rod.
Ooh.
Does he have the Matrix?
If I can open his chest.
Is that where it is? In his chest?
Mm-hmm.
Not his prison wallet? Oh, okay.
It's the Matrix of leadership. This is not Hot Rod. This is Rodimus Prime now.
Rodimus.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I apologize.
Man, can we get a new Transformers game now?
Yeah.
Right?
Let's go. Transformers, let's go. All right. Maybe they'll make one sometime one day. All right. So guys, let's talk about Hogwarts Legacy, Harry Potter game, which was actually, I believe, most anticipated game for you, Psycho, for this year, and also for a lot of people. We're really, really, really looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy. And again, we joked around like it's gonna get delayed too because everything is getting delayed. And guess
that was
what?
the one that I figured would.
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of did, right? And it came down today. We saw another letterhead from a dev, and when you see that, you know what it means. It means
The mark of death.
it's pushed back. So again, it's just this onslaught of delays is happening. Maybe it's because it's that time right now where they're really setting up their next quarter. Right, and laying out the pipeline for their games, and everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, we don't actually got one." So,
but they all push it to in spring of next year. It's like the first half of next year, and it's like that first half of next year is just you're gonna need like $1,000 just on games.
Yeah, on this one, I believe they did give us a release date though, which is better than some of the other delays where we got like
February
date.
10th. February 10th.
Yeah, so you're looking at. It's really only like a 2-month delay, right? Not that bad. So it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, but it was one of those games that I know myself, 3-Bit Lady, a lot in the gaming community were very, very excited to play because it's Hogwarts and it's that lore that we got to see on screen, but now we actually had the full range of going anywhere in the castle. It's as it seems, that's what they're saying. Anywhere in the castle, anywhere on the castle grounds. It felt fantastic. And it was coming out this year. So it was like, yeah, a lot of games didn't come out, but we still had Hogwarts. But
That's
as the time
what's,
goes on and nothing was talked about, we were like, oh no, don't
I
tell
was
me
gonna
this
play
is-
it this year because there wasn't much coming out, but now that it's like coming out next year, like it might be too packed, and I'll probably end up skipping it.
You
I
think
don't
so?
want to skip it, but there is that first half. I've tweeted where I'm going to find all this time to play everything that's coming out in the first half.
You're not.
That's not the second half of 2023. So it's like I'll catch up on my backlog up until next 2023. So it's like, what the f? I just don't get
And
it.
Harry Potter is a Christmas series. Like, it's the
Yes.
weirdest thing, but honestly, because it's
Yeah.
not like prominent. Yeah, they had like a Christmas scene in there and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's not like this thing that it kind of just happened naturally. Like when people think of Harry Potter, it's the perfect Christmas holiday time for movies or whatever the case may be. And this game was coming out, they said holiday 2022. So it was, or winter 2022. It was perfect. It was perfect. It was a perfect December game for everybody. Even me, I like Harry Potter. I'm not like the biggest fan, but I do like Harry Potter. I was thinking about picking this game out because it was just the perfect timing. Like it was just great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And now it's February, like everybody said, with everything else. So
I mean, it's still holiday-ish. I mean, it's still in the Christmassy because Hogwarts is kind
Valentine's
of
Day.
yeah, but it's like like the first two, I believe, the first two kind of emphasized on Christmas, and then Halloween, and then so on and so forth. So it's like it's like the beginning of the school year. You get those holidays.
Yeah, for sure.
Did I say something?
No.
No, sorry.
Okay.
I'm just
so
ignoring that because it's funny.
It's just one of those things that you wanted to see it come out. I mean, like I said, everyone was excited for it, but I guess we have to live with the delay until February 10th.
Yeah. Well, I mean that game, Arc Raiders, and what was the other one that got delayed on Monday?
Midnight Suns.
Midnight Suns. That's
Midnight
three highly anticipated games within a week span, and this is following other delays that had already happened in the past as well over the last several months. Starfield, Redfall. Darktide, Warhammer Darktide on console.
Forspoken.
Yeah, Forspoken. When is Forspoken delayed to?
February, I think, as well.
Again, that one as well, right?
Did Star Wars get delayed till 2023? I know it's coming out in 2023, but did it get delayed to early 2023?
No, it wasn't a delay. That was the announcement date.
Okay.
First quarter 2023, and then I think that they finally said the date or whatever it was. So.
Yeah, and then Dead Space is
January,
also coming out in January, I think, too.
Yeah, and Callisto Protocol, they still claim that's on track, but it's in December.
Did they give an actual day? Because some places say December 1st, some say the 9th or 10th or 11th or something. So is there an actual printed date for them?
I don't remember. I thought they did have an actual date.
For which game again?
For Callisto Protocol.
I don't know. I remember December.
Was it the?
Yeah, I remember December. Okay.
Yeah, that's next on the chopping block, everybody. I'm calling it.
That's the other one that's questionable. That's the only other one that I'm like actually concerned about.
Yeah. What about God of War? You guys think there's a chance? I mean, the date was only announced once. Unless a date's announced twice, there's always a chance. You think it's solid? They did announce the date.
They announced the year. They announced the year 2022. They pushed it. They waited.
Yeah. Then they announced November.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way, unless something drastic happens. Again, they never say never because in game dev, who knows? I mean, development, something could pop up and they could be like, nope, there's no way we can fix this. So
let's take a look at some of the games we do have coming this year for Xbox that are kind of on the bigger variety. We do have Soul Hackers 2, and we have Madden and Saints Row coming this month, right? We have Destroy All Humans 2 coming out this month as well.
Jez is playing Soul Hackers 2 right now.
Yeah.
And he hinted that it's amazing. So
well, I have some suspicions that this game could be potentially fantastic. The way like the trailers are coming together, it doesn't seem like this like just other type of IP game, the random little thing. It seems like it's shaping up to be a pretty damn big, good Atlas game, right?
Atlas has got that Persona 5 money now.
Yeah. It seems like bigger than
even their side games are getting the real treatment.
Yeah. It seems like more than I had anticipated originally when this was announced. You know what I mean? So that's next month. September. Oh geez, there's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I mean, there's definitely probably going to be a fan base for that, right? Dark Tide was delayed on console. That's for some reason still on this list. How about Evil West? That one I know a lot of people looking forward to.
Still on.
Yeah, still on for September. The Diofield Chronicle for JRPG fans on Xbox. Square threw us a bone over here on Xbox, everybody. Play the demo. If you like JRPGs, if you like strategy games, if you like tactics games, this is a blend of all three. I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I cannot wait for this game to come out. It is a full price game, which at first glance you'd be like, is that really? But like, if you look at games like Fire Emblem and like games like that, usually they sell pretty much full price because they're big games, right? You can get probably hundreds of hours into something like that, like this. Much like Ogre Tactics remastered coming out on PlayStation as well. Yeah, we got DFO Chronicle, then we got FIFA, and wow, September's looking a little lean here, guys. Just be straight with you. There's really, that's it, for bigger games. River City Girls 2 for River City Girls fans. That was a great brawler back on the was that 360 originally, I think? Pretty sure.
Not sure on that one.
Oh, there's Session.
I don't know if it goes back to the 360. I think it goes back to Xbox One, actually. I could be wrong.
Maybe Xbox One. So the September is looking really lean. Were you saying?
Now, is Session coming out of preview?
I think so, because its release date slated here is September 22nd.
Okay.
I think that's also when Grounded. Isn't that when Grounded's supposed to come out at 1.0? Is in September?
So.
Yes. It's not on this list. I guess IGN doesn't care about it. And there's also what was there? Oh, I saw this game and I saw a mention of it today. Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous, which is a sequel to a game that I just checked out the other day and was pleasantly surprised about it. This is a like top-down CRPG style game, kind of classic Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights type of
based on
thing.
D&D rules.
Yeah. Divinity almost, kind of, if you're familiar with these kind of games. I was pleasantly surprised what I played of the first game, so this is now on my radar. But wow, that's September, and there's really like nothing really jumps off the screen right now. It's like, oh, that's a big ass, like, wow, I've been really looking forward to that for a year, Then we get to October.
Starts warming up again.
Scorn.
Persona is coming to Xbox for those that have never gotten to play a Persona game. That's a big
all
deal.
That matters right there. End of list. That's all.
End of list.
Nah.
Okay. We got Scorn.
Mm-hmm.
And then October's where it heats up. You got let me get back a little bit because I skipped one. Plague Tale Requiem.
Game Pass.
Game Pass day one. October 18th.
Is also on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Scorn's on Game Pass. That's October 21st. So within 3 days, we get 2 huge games. But not only that, isn't Persona 5 Royal in Game Pass as well? So that's 3 massive games between the 18th and the 21st, right? Because 3 massive games. The 21st of October, unless these games get delayed, I shouldn't have said that. These will have a fantastic late October because it doesn't stop there. Gotham Knights hits on the 25th. Which is going to be an absolutely amazing game for me. I'm really looking forward to it. I know some people out there like don't like what they see out of some aspects of the game, and that's fine.
Die, grass. You'll never grow again.
What was that? What was that from?
That was from Gotham Knights. That's shout out to Fonz. Fonz had used that on RDX when he was talking about the dialogue from Gotham Knights and how bad it was.
Yeah.
One of the guys that are burning
Was
down
it
that
Robin?
first building. No, when the gang that's burning down that building or that mansion.
Oh yeah.
That whole one of them is yelling, "Die, grass, die! You'll never grow again. Burn."
That's fantastic dialogue. What I don't understand what y'all have issues with there. High on Life, also the 25th.
Game Pass.
And Game Pass Day 1. So between the 18th and the 25th, you got Plague Tale Requiem, Persona 5 Royal, Scorn, and High on Life. And you also have Gotham Knights dropping that same day. And then on the 27th, for RPG fans out there, Star Ocean: The Divine Force comes out. So
just think those 4 games in Game Pass already pay for your entire year of Game Pass. If you were to technically play them all like I will. That's right there in 1 month. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
And Mav's been smelling Gotham Knights in Game Pass since the beginning of the year, so who knows?
Yeah, he has.
I have, but now that I'm looking at this list, are they going to drop another one on that same damn day? Like, I don't know. It's because of the release dates. I'm thinking I'm getting off that train here. I would love it if it gets delayed. It'll come to Game Pass. But also dropping on the 28th, just a day after Star Ocean, guys. Guess what? There's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. That's probably going to be
be in Game Pass eventually.
Biggest game this year. Game Pass eventually for sure. Unless for some reason some craziness goes on. But
Modern Warfare 2 is about to take over everything. So
that's going to be a monster game, guys. Like the anticipation for this Call of Duty is extremely high. Extremely high.
Yeah. That's another game eventually coming to Game Pass.
You know what's hilarious though? You know what game is coming out also on the 28th? That is a multiplayer focused experience. Is Resident Evil Reverse.
Oh god.
They actually gonna launch that thing?
On the same day that Modern Warfare 2 comes out.
Oh, they're really trying to kill it.
I thought Reverse was like Resident Evil's version of Factions. I thought we were going to see this for.
It's on IGN's website, unless it got canceled.
Yeah. There was a demo you could play like months ago. I don't know if it's
is it that one where it's like 4-player versus 1 or something? Like one is like the undercover bad guy or something type of thing.
Yeah, I think one person plays as like the big tall dude or whatever, and the rest are like 4 just like cops or whatever, just running around like the police station from Resident Evil 2. Was it like what I played?
It's horrible. I watched Miles Dompierre play it, and it was just fucking horrible. It was bad. Even he was like, this should not be released.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things.
Shout out to my boy Bomber. What's up, Bomber? Good to see you, man. He said with a $2 super chat, much love from your boy Bomber. Keep killing it. Hey, dude. Appreciate you, Bomber, man. One of my favorite people out there. We need to have you on the show again sometime soon, dude. Good to see you, GBT be back and you on the screen there giving your thoughts. I need to catch up and play some games with you too, bro. Although I don't know if you still suck at Halo. That as you self-proclaimed suck at Halo. I always told you were good, but you say you suck, which was BS. You're pretty damn good. Shane also hits us with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Shane. He says, why do people only lose their mind on Microsoft delays? I think there's a lot of people losing their minds on the Hogwarts Legacy delay today, and also the Midnight Suns and Arc Raiders as well. Just the amount of delays is what it is all about. Starfield and Redfall were 2 of the most highly anticipated games of the year, right?
Yeah, I think it's scale game wise.
And then
there's a lot more people looking forward to
also
that.
When those were announced, they were announced on the same day at the same time, right? And not only that, but it cleared out Microsoft's entire first party slate pretty much for the year, right? So there was a reason. It's not just that like, oh, it's a Microsoft delay, let's all rag on them. It's because that was their year, right? That was their year of first party content for the most part, as far as like big releases, and both got delayed with one announcement. And after Todd Howard had said write it in ink and not pencil and stuff like that, so they led a lot of confidence, and that was a shocking time. Now, is it a huge deal? No, we all got stuff to play. But it was still like, wow, Microsoft let a year go through without a big first party game. Obviously, it's not affecting them too bad. Their numbers are still doing pretty damn good. So it's not going to be like a big deal for them business wise. It just kind of sucks. But at the same time, you know, we all got stuff to play. So I don't see anybody like sending death threats here on this panel anyway. you know?
It's just fuel for the
We
console
never
war.
do.
So you just see
Yeah.
it more, Shane. When anything Microsoft does something, you're just always going to see it more because it's just fuel for the console war. That's all it is.
Yeah.
At the end of
Well,
the
the,
day.
the funny thing is, it's like if you look at the PlayStation side of things, the 2 games that they released this year were games that were pushed back from 2021. So, but nobody seems to recall those things or wants to talk about that.
Mhm.
It's like, well, eventually games get pushed back, and you just play them a different year. But
Yeah, 2023 is getting
And-
insane, though. I don't know how this many games
to your
are coming
point, to your point, Fuzzy, too, like Mav was saying, it's just because it's such a glaring with Starfield and Redfall, it was just such a glaring hole because they had nothing in the beginning. Whereas Sony usually has 1 to 2, and even if they push things, people are still talking about those 1 to 2, so they don't even. Again, it's just console war fodder at the end of the day. It's just because Starfield Redfall was supposed to make up the second half of this year for Microsoft.
For the same, if God of War was to announce to be delayed, it would be a huge deal, right? There would be everybody be talking about it, be a massive deal. It's not only Xbox games, but whenever it's a first party game, it is a little bit bigger usually than just a third party game. Just because you have that whole console war aspect go on behind the scenes with all the narratives and BS out there.
What the
hell was that?
That was Psycho.
Are you okay,
That's
Psycho?
Psycho?
No, I was watching
What
a video.
What?
What were you watching?
No, it was that video he put in the DMs where the guy was ziplining or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah, the
okay.
little zipline guy.
Oh.
It's just funny. I
I'm
love
sorry,
I
are
love
we
it.
watching that again?
Yes.
What the hell is
It's
wrong
so amusing. It's fantastic.
We also have one that I know Jasper's going to be excited for. That's supposed to be dropping in October. Nickelodeon Star Trek Prodigy Supernova.
Oh my God.
That's the same people that make Peppa Pig, so
Is
it should
it?
be easy achievements. Yeah.
All right, I knew you'd be excited about that one. And then LOL surprise BBS Born to Travel. BB's not BB's. Sorry, BB's Born to Travel. Anybody that's got kids may, I don't know. All right, anyway, we're going to November. And this can't be right. IGN only has 4 games listed on the Xbox listed to come out period in the month of November.
Yeah.
That can't. I mean, maybe it's only games with release. No, this isn't right. This isn't.
But they saw that Starfield was delayed for November, and they're just like, we're done tracking November.
Just, all right. It sounds like you're botting bad guys. Sorry.
What?
Stop playing your zipline video. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Shit.
All right, I'm trying to look up this release schedule for November, and I can't rely on IGN, unfortunately, guys. So November. Oh wow, there's literally not much games coming out in November.
That's all right. We're all still gonna be playing COD, and we're gonna be playing Persona and everything.
Yeah.
Else from October.
So for maybe at these EA, the Gamescom, and all these things, and some of these other games like Need for Speed or like some other stuff out there will get announced for
there's
November.
Some big games coming out
In
We got,
November.
Humankind, Skull and Bones.
It's not on any of these lists. Is Skull and Bones November?
Yeah,
Yeah,
November.
Goat,
Remember, because it's releasing with God of War a couple days.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
and Goat Sim 3. It's probably the biggest 3 that we're getting on Xbox, but other games are Company of Heroes and God of War.
I shouldn't rely on IGN or GameSpot. Okay, whose list are you using? We'll see who the best.
Game Informer.
Game Informer.
Game
And there's
Informer.
also Pokemon
that's
coming
the
out
one
for the
that's
Switch
stealing
users that
IGN
month.
Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet.
And that Harvest Stella game is a indie game that I think a lot of people are getting hyped about. It's kind of like a Stardew or Animal Crossing, stuff like that.
That's from Square, isn't it? That's a Square one.
Not sure.
I'm pretty sure that's a Square one, and it looks actually really good. It's got like classic battles in it.
Oh
so
wait, yeah,
it
that's a
looks
different.
pretty
Yeah,
good.
I thought it was a different game. But
And for
yeah,
PC
you're right.
gamers, Company Heroes 3 and also Darktide will still be launching in November as well. And December is Callisto Protocol, and that's it on this list, at least right now.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Hello Neighbor
we'll see.
2.
Also, Halo Season 3 is in November, so
Yeah, it's I mean, it's
And
over.
Forge will be out by then. So
It seems right now the month to be most excited for is late October, right?
Yeah.
Like late October is going to be sick and give us plenty of stuff to play throughout the end of the year. Like you can't all those games, you can't finish those by the end of the year for sure, right? So and then but by the time January, February, March roll around, there's going to be this hopefully this 2023 swing, and then maybe it'll be nonstop. Because,
I mean, once October hits, it's nonstop because you have to finish all those by before December, and then December it's Callisto Protocol. January it's Dead Space, then it's February, and then it's just like it's just
the Dead Space is getting delayed.
Probably.
Yeah. And then Xbox.
And if the acquisition goes through by then we'll have all those Game Pass games too.
Yeah.
Probably by the end of December. So it'll be nuts.
Yeah, it is gonna be absolutely crazy. So we got like 2 more months really, and there's like a little bit of stuff here releasing here and there up until then. But once that hits, guys, it's gonna be a freaking blast, and I can't wait. So that's a little bit of a silver lining, or not silver lining, but looking at the bright side right now with all these delays. Still plenty of stuff to play, but it does still suck asses at the same time. Did they say when Midnight Suns was coming out, or they not say?
I think they just said 23, didn't they? Early
23.
23.
Or early
Right.
23, I think is what it was.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, why is Second Extinction on this list? Oh, it's been game preview. It's like game still releasing. Is anybody still playing it?
no, but they keep doing
Haven't played in a
updates. I
while.
see them on Twitter all the time.
Yeah,
So they're
I
still doing
enjoyed
updates.
the game. I need to hop back in and see if there's any new content and stuff. All right. So Hogwarts RAP for 2022, but we'll see in 2023. But guys, there's also a lot of other cool stuff to discuss. What is this about the game library potentially showing up in the cloud? Right? We had a list that kind of people started finding these games. Now, Pong had mentioned to me that Xbox came out and said it was a bug, right? But things kind of line up a little bit pretty well with like the Gamescom coming up, and you have like the xCloud teams and stuff up there. You got a lot of Microsoft presence, and you got those instances that just happened randomly. It's a weird bug to have on your website. You know what I mean? But all of a sudden, games like Elden Ring and
Vanguard,
WWE 2K22, bunch of games that may already own from third-party publishers could be playable in the cloud soon. So they had always alluded to the fact that this was a feature they wanted to put in, that this was something they wanted to work on, and it was one of the first announced features when they talked about the promise of the cloud and with Game Pass and stuff, when they had not announced xCloud and all these things. And I think it's probably imminent that we may have some news with that, and I think it's going to be pretty sick to be able to play the games that you own that aren't necessarily just in that Game Pass service on your different devices and stuff. Because like on my Steam Deck right now, I have like these different games. I'm like, man, I wish I could play that, but I don't want to buy it again on Steam when I already own it on Xbox, right? But I could play it on the cloud beta thing that they have going on there, or I could play I saw people posting pictures today of their 2022 Samsung TVs that have the app built in. You know what I mean? And things like that. It's like it's going to become more of a normal thing. And I don't know, man. I mean, seems like kind of like the next step, because cloud gaming has already kind of proven itself with Xbox that it can be an enjoyable experience. There's some people that use it more than others, and it depends on your situation and your connection, but it's only going to get better. It's going to get better and better and better. And if I play on some TVs, like certain games, I can't even really tell, right? And if sometimes I get like, oh, that was horrible, right? So it kind of just depends. But I think in the next year or so, you're going to see improvements with that. You're going to see more devices have the capability of doing it. And are y'all excited to potentially play your games that way?
Are they gonna beta test the third-party cloud games first? Like, do it just certain regions like they're doing the Family Plan, or is it just going to launch with part of xCloud and be like?
We don't know, because they haven't announced anything
like,
officially yet, right? It's just like kind of data mining or like people that have like stumbled upon it accidentally on the website right now.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it might be like if they do a beta test for it, like for certain regions, we might not see it till like maybe next year, because they just might announce like beta is going to start like at the end of Gamescom or whatever, and like just for Germany or whatever,
Yeah. See, my thinking was they may want to get ahead of it for some of the big holiday releases this year. Because if that's the case, then that would open up another avenue where people could potentially purchase a game without even owning a console, right? And I'm thinking of big titles like that. I think Modern Warfare 2 was also on that list that people found. So, that's a big ass release. And if you don't even own a console, right? If you don't have a PS5, PS4, you don't have an Xbox, you don't have a good enough PC to really run it well, you could potentially get it into the cloud, maybe that's something they're trying to get in before this holiday, what do you think, Fuzz? You think that's something that they may be working on?
I hope so. Like, for the most part, when it comes to like any of the games that you would own, or at least the ones that they kind of data mined, as far as I think it was like 31 of them or so, that would be awesome to have in time for the holidays. They probably will do a small beta test, although I could have sworn there was a small beta test for some of this before, because I remember seeing something about Elden Ring a while ago, and I know Jez had said something about it, and I thought it was if you were buying a console, they were giving you Elden Ring for free, and that you could play it via the cloud as well or something. But it kind of disappeared. It was like something Jez mentioned, and it went away. And I don't know if that was when people were testing it back then. But man, if they do this for the holidays on top of that family plan deal, I think it's going to pretty much be the most demand thing as far as, hey, just buy me cards of Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate Family or something like that, and that'll be the stocking stuffer for 2022. But it would be awesome if they either test it, or if they haven't already tested it, or just I hope they do a full out launch come Gamescom.
So one thing that was interesting was on that list was also that was kind of roaming out there was Forspoken.
Yeah. And
that's like a timed exclusive for consoles for like PlayStation. Like, would this be a potential workaround? Like if this happened for like Xbox to be able to have it on their app, to where like people can play it on TVs and stuff through their service?
Well, I think that's depending on like Sony's contracts, where it's like you can't come to any competing platform, and if they identify the cloud as a competing platform, then
because it would only be like for PC, because it's only coming to Microsoft Store on PC, right?
Correct.
So do we know how long that exclusivity is? Is it 1 year? Or who knows with Sony,
it's
right?
It's supposed to be 1 year, but they're probably 2 years now,
Yeah, I don't know, Mav, because if they open up, because we talked about that, right? If they open up the cloud where you can stream PC games to the cloud, and they open it up where the console could do it, that could be a workaround, because it wouldn't be in the contract, because they wouldn't think about that.
Bypassing those exclusivity agreements in a way. Yeah, it'd be crazy, dude.
We know that Microsoft wants all open storefronts, right? So if they are trying to push the boundaries, that would be one way to start doing
That's how they did that with Apple too.
Correct.
They fucked Apple over
by just did it with Fortnite, right? Yeah. They just did it with Fortnite, and they said, fine, you can just log
they
in
bypassed
and
it.
Right. Yeah. So maybe they're starting to try to push the boundaries if this list comes out to be true. It would be interesting.
Yeah, Forspoken's a weird one, because they didn't do it with Stray, because Stray is something that you could buy on Steam, but it wasn't available on the Microsoft Store. And there's a couple of other ones that were like smaller games that you couldn't get on the Microsoft Store. That were either day and date on Epic or day and date on Steam. So this is unusual, and I kind of like it. So yeah.
Is that Apple case over yet, or is that still going on, where Epic and Microsoft are suing Apple for locking down their platform?
I think it's over, and I think it was like a lose-lose across the board for Epic as well as for Apple. Like, Apple had to agree to allow other payment things, and I think Epic was not guaranteed that they could be back on there if Apple didn't agree to put them back on there. Like, they broke terms to service, so if Apple deems that they can return, they can return. So it was like Epic had to pay Apple some money. Apple's going to have to open up their storefront as far as different payment methods that are not Apple Pay, and nobody really won per se.
I was just trying to think back how that could like tie into kind of what we were talking about here. that case.
Yeah. It's interesting to see what's going to happen with that, because this is going to be a whole thing in the future. Because when there's like a change with tech and a different model of distribution, there's always like this scrambling of like figuring out the new rules, right?
Yeah.
And Microsoft's trying to set those rules for everybody right now, and they're trying to say like, okay, everything should be open, and we have the cloud infrastructure that can host everything just by chance, you know what I mean? But everything should be open. Everybody should be able to have their apps on whatever device and be able to sell things wherever they want. And you got a lot of kickback obviously from Google and Apple and Sony and Nintendo also wouldn't want that. They've also pretty much Microsoft's come out and said that, you know, Nintendo doesn't really want Game Pass on their platform. You know what I mean? But they would love that.
It's kind of like in the early 2000s when like the music services were starting to kick off. Like everyone's moving on from CDs and starting to stream music. That's kind of like where we're at right now with games, where it's like, where's the line of where it's like,
where like the ecosystems are an app instead of just a gate-kept box. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like where before it's like hardware. What if back in the day you bought CDs and it was, or like music CDs, you know, but it was only playable on a Sony CD player, right? And it was not even a Sony musician. It was like a different musician from like a different label, but they like paid for exclusivity on this disc that it could only play on that Sony Discman, right? That would be like ludicrous to think. But that's what happens in the gaming industry.
I don't know if Ludacris is a Sony artist. So.
How do you know? But like it would be absolutely crazy to think like, what if movies, right? What if movies like came out and like you could only play this, you know, Universal Theaters new movie on a Universal Theaters VCR, right? And it's like, what the fuck? You know, it's gaming is the only one that was designed that way, because gaming was sold as boxes first that you could then make money off of, right? But there's really no reason that gaming has to be that. And as the technology is moving to where people are going to have access to the ecosystems on more than just that box, it's going to be changing. And I think those rules are new, and Sony doesn't want that right now. So we can go ahead and get into that shit, because that's what's going on right now behind the scenes between Sony and Xbox, with this back and forth right now going on because of, you know, the Activision Blizzard acquisition. We had Sony's response to Brazil, the Brazilian regulator. I don't know what the committee is called. I don't know if anybody knows in the chat or whatever, but they had to send a response to them. And I guess because of those laws, it gets open to the public. There's redacted information in there and stuff. But then we talked about a lot of that last week, right? But wow, Microsoft came out swinging with a response that I think caught a lot of us off guard, just because we're not used to seeing this side of Xbox. Like Jasper, were you taken aback by the Xbox's assertiveness?
I mean, I was just, I don't know. I was going to say I was kind of surprised how low Sony went with playing a victim, but that's just like basic lawyer shit. Like, just try to make any case you can. So like,
right.
Microsoft is just doing the same thing. They're just like, they're just doing their counterpoint to it. It's just all the lawyer crap.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
lawyers exaggerate the most like pointless things at times, and they try and make a case, whatever they can figure out to what they can make a case on, right? So it didn't surprise us that they went this approach, but what was funny is just how hypocritical it read. Like if you were familiar with the whole industry and what's been going on for years, and I think Microsoft saw that, and like their lawyers went to just completely slam dunk that shit. Right? It was like, this is like the worst piece of trash litter I've ever seen, and it's like hypocritical out the ass, and we're just gonna lay the gauntlet down and tell these regulators why everything that Sony said was complete bullshit and their statements. Fuzzy, did you see like a different side of Microsoft now, like a little bit? We got that.
Oh yeah, because the lawyers don't have to play nice with anyone. They just have to make their case and try to, you know, keep or basically fight for the best interests of Microsoft. I wish some of the execs could take that tone with some of their competitors and things like that. But yeah, it was nice to see that they're like, well, we're going to call this BS as far as this game isn't that unique because X, Y, and Z. And, Sony can do the same thing with their subscription service. And Sony has had, paid to keep games away from our service and such. So it's like them just opening up all of the points that you kind of we've talked about in the background as far as things that Sony would do in closed door meetings or backdoor deals and stuff, and they brought it to light, and it's like they've had enough of it, kind of, or at least that's how it came across. But it's I don't think it's quite as forceful, but yeah, they definitely called all the BS that Sony was putting down on that. We can't compete. This is too unique of a game, and it's too important, and it may influence. And yeah, I love what their legal speak counterpoints were in this regard.
It's almost like the real console wars, like you know what I mean. This is like this is like the real stuff behind the scenes, and it's really a battle over the model of distribution and the way that, and monetization, and the way that the games market is going to be had in the future. And Sony, it chose a model that was buying exclusive games and buying marketing rights that was going to, for the biggest franchises, right, that was going to create this casual, generic brand awareness for them, right, for these mass appeal games, right, that was like, that's attached to Sony, that's attached to Sony, that's attached to Sony, and it worked, and they did a great job with their stellar top story-based action adventure games as well, right? But this is like them under attack now because they lost their like way of doing business, right? Because this is the number one golden child. According to them, it can't be replaced. It's the number one thing that they have. It's even above their first party games because you can't replace Call of Duty because it's in a genre of itself. Pong, is Call of Duty in its own genre?
No, as we talked about last night, of course it isn't. It's a first-person shooter. You can't just create new genres because of a title's dominance.
The COD genre. Okay. So are we gonna have like games just with like COD and like the on IGN? Yeah, no. Oh, is this a COD like?
So then we have a genre for The Last of Us because it's all by itself because it dominates. No, of course not. That's not how this works. Again, Sony didn't choose a business model. They created this business model, and that's their problem. Like we talked about last night, Matt, right? We talked about this. This is what the if you boil all of this talk down between both sides, it comes down to the fact that Sony created a business model. They dominated with that business model. Anybody who tried to come play with them inside that business model either left or failed. Nintendo decided to go make their own playing field, and they started to do their own thing where they make money off of every single product they put out, right? Including hardware, which is something that Sony and Microsoft both lose on. And so they went and did their own thing, and it was Sony and Microsoft. Well, Microsoft tried to play this game. They made their own mistakes, and it showed. And they failed during the Xbox One generation, which Sony then took advantage of, as any good business does, and they did their own thing. And so now Microsoft, out of necessity, had to go back to the drawing board. And what they came out with when Phil in the group convinced Satya that Xbox did have a way forward, that there was something there that they could work with that would benefit Microsoft, they came up with, of course, Game Pass, xCloud, on and on and on. And they started building a brand new playing field. And they started rewriting the rules, writing their own, as they trailblazed into a spot that no video game company really had done. And let me point out that Sony had PS Now before Game Pass. They had a chance to do this. They chose not to. They got complacent. They decided that everything was hunky-dory with the console market and selling their premium experience and selling to the same 100, 120, 140 million customers. Well, when Microsoft showed up and Satya showed up with the checkbook and opened it up for Phil and his team, and they started trailblazing a brand new path with Game Pass and xCloud and all these different services, and started talking about 2 billion, 3 billion instead of 150 million cap, Well, guess what? Now Sony got interested, but it was too late. They were too far behind and they could not change their business model. So now Sony wants to complain because now they know they're at the disadvantage. And if they come over to Microsoft's game, their new field, their new stadium, that they're going to be the underdogs because they don't have the resources. They don't have the infrastructure that Microsoft has. They're way behind. So all they're doing here is complaining that the game has changed and they weren't the ones making the rules. Plain and simple. That's what this comes down to at the end of the day. They're biding their time. They're trying to delay the inevitable, as we talked about last night, Mav. They're trying to delay what they know is happening here because they can't flip the switch. They could, but it would cost Sony way too much.
They have a golden opportunity coming up, too. 20th anniversary of SOCOM is on the 27th during Gamescom.
Correct.
Just announced they're making a SOCOM that day.
Jasper, we talked about this because they got complacent, because they decided they could rely on the bread and butter, the third parties like Call of Duty to fill in all the holes. And all they had to do was have their first party make one type of game that would make them a bunch of money. And all the third parties would pay all the fees that came through. Sony could be very well off in that game. But they let all these other IPs, and we talked about this specifically, Jasper, last night. Had they been cultivating Killzone, had they been cultivating, your Motor Storms, your SOCOMs, they would have the diversity they need from their first parties. But that's not what they chose to do. They chose their path. So guess what? Now that Microsoft broke off, now all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're lost. Wait, we can't, where'd you guys go? We can't follow you there. We don't have that kind of gear. What are you talking about? We can't do that. That's all they're doing here. So again, they're just, none of this stuff is going to change what's going to happen. The acquisition is going to go through. This is going to happen. And Sony knows this. But again, they're given the opportunity to voice their opinion. So they chose to voice it this way. And again, I don't blame them. It's business. They're going to try to hold on to that old way as long as they possibly can and try to stumble or trip up Microsoft at some point. But we all know it's not going to happen. But Microsoft came back and did exactly what I thought they would do. It's exactly why I like Sony doing this stuff. I think it lights a fire within Xbox. It reminds Phil and Satya and everybody who Sony is. And they came back. Their attorneys came back and laid the smackdown on all of Sony's points and pointed out all of the BS, all of the hypocrisy. And now the world gets to read both sides. And again, anybody who is not being intellectually dishonest can read both sides and understand that Microsoft has got the high ground here. That what they are saying is real. And all the stuff that people tried to dismiss about Sony doing, deals with blocking Game Pass. When we got that from the Capcom leaks, we were talking about it on the show last April. We were talking two years ago, April 2021. We were talking about this when the Capcom leaks happened, that we've all believed it, but everybody tried to dismiss it. Well, guess what? Now the world gets to see it's all real. And again, if you're not being intellectually dishonest, you'll look at both sides and go, yeah, Sony has been doing this. This is the game that they were playing, and it worked for them. They were the big men on the block. They bullied everybody else around. Now that that's changing, Sony's going to complain about it. That's the way it goes. They had a chance, and they didn't prepare for this time. They didn't prepare for the industry changing. Now they get to play catch up, and they don't have what's necessary to actually catch up as quickly as a Microsoft or Xbox does. So hey, they're at a disadvantage now. That's the way it works. We've seen it time and time again in this industry. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's 100% on point, man. Let's talk a little bit about these two, the intellectually dishonest, as you call it. I call it disingenuous.
Clowns.
There's the clown shows where they're out there and they're like, no, they're just spitting bullshit, but they do it for clicks and they do it for attention and they do it for viewer counts and interactive chats and stuff like that. And
people can't say when they're wrong nowadays. It's just like they can't admit that. They're just like, so they have to stick to it.
That's another point. Even if it's like a dumbass thing you said like 2 years ago, I'm still holding on to this until I can't no more. And
stop calling me out.
No, not you, baby. But like for real though, there's like so many of these examples that we've been like talking this stuff. Now this channel is like 2 years old. You can go back and watch some of the original, videos that I've had and then the podcast, and some of the points we've been making, is a lot of these things that we see every day. Now I don't get everything right. None of us do, right? And when we're wrong, we're like, hey, yeah, it was wrong.
Well, actually,
but but there's a lot of things that we have gotten right, and it's crazy lately. Between the Square stuff that we've been seeing, between this back and forth dialogue now, where we actually see these real documents written by real lawyers that work for the actual companies that have been exposed to the public, that also kind of retroactively in a weird way confirm those leaks that claim to be false in the past, are proving to the fact that a lot of those things that we've been saying, a lot of creators in this community that are actually just looking at things in the bigger picture and see, kind of easily able to predict where things are headed, right? It's not rocket science to say that to see everything happening and know what's going on. It's just really crazy to see this stuff actually unfolding now, and these disingenuous assholes that have been out there spreading toxicity and negativity out there for so long just get slapped in the face by facts from their own fucking company that they've been trying to tout all this time as somebody that is clearly not, right? Whether it's Square, whether it's Sony and Microsoft. Again, Microsoft is doing a lot of great things. Now, don't get us wrong. Microsoft's in it for business, right? They're in this for business. They want to control the market, right? They want to control the cloud market. They want to control all of this. They're on the ground floor of this shit right now, right? They have such a head start on what the future of gaming is that it's absolutely insane right now. And Sony is scared. Microsoft called them out for being fearful of the new innovative way of doing business in gaming, right? And Sony, I believe, is actually not, I wouldn't say they're like in a panic mode, but I would say that they are definitely begrudgingly against having to do what they feel like they gotta do now, right? And to me, that does mean more meetings. It means apparently their boards and shit and their executives are having these more passionate conversations probably about what the hell are we doing to do about this now? Like, what's going on? We're losing COD? That's our golden child, even more than our own damn games, right? But guess what? They're not losing COD. They're losing the marketing rights to COD, which they paid for to do the exact same thing that Microsoft bought them for. The only thing is Microsoft couldn't just do that, so they had to go out and buy them because of Sony's contracts, which negated the ability for them to even put Call of Duty in Game Pass in the first place. This all goes back to the things that Sony was doing to begin with, and it's come back to bite them in the ass so hard right now that it is fucking hysterical. And seeing these letters out in the public just makes me laugh. It's like absolutely hilarious. And Microsoft just simply bitch slapped them with their comments back. Again, telling the entire world pretty much with these exposed documents that they think Sony is who we all thought Sony was. And this was not really just about going, hey, yeah, they have a different take on the matter. We think this, they think that, this was like, hey, they're wrong, right? They're scared. They're wrong. And you know what? They're fucking stupid too. So that's probably what they're saying. If you think Call of Duty, again, I said this last night, if you think Call of Duty is in a genre of its own, make it fucking get first person shooter yourself. That's what it's called. Mm-hmm. It's called the first person shooter, right? Now it is the number one selling biggest first person shooter in the world, right? But they gave up on it. Why? Because they got the Call of Duty exclusivity, not exclusivity, but the marketing rights to create that brand recognition about them. And they stopped trying to make Killzone. They didn't even make SOCOM anymore. Resistance, gone. When's the last first-person shooter that they came out with?
Killzone in 2015 or whatever.
Haze? Was it maybe Haze? Or was Killzone the last one? Killzone. It's just absolutely crazy. Psycho. Are you here? You've been in and out, so I'm just checking.
I don't know. I'm having connection issues, so let's see how long this one lasts.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Microsoft? I've been itching to get your thoughts on Microsoft's comments back at Sony.
It's great to see that they're pushing back, that they're not just laying down like they did last generation, that they're back to being competitive. Yes, Call of Duty is going to be they bought Activision, so Call of Duty is going to be associated with Xbox now. I don't think that Sony's like crying wolf, because they've been doing this since the Sega Saturn, because they want I believe I saw I forget what game it was, but it was a sequel to a very popular game, and Sony's like, if you put it on the Saturn, you'll no longer will be be able to bring games out, and they did it. I forget the game. I'll have to look back, but it's been back. They took pride in like almost killing. Had a hand in killing off Sega. Like, they were proud. So it was like, and we all saw like they tried to do the same thing to Xbox last generation, and now Microsoft's like, hold on, they're backing Xbox this time around, and they are not liking it. They do not like to compete, and we are seeing this, and now they're like, but Call of Duty is not on it could be associated with Xbox. It's like, guess what? When you pay $70 billion, yes, it better be associated with fucking Xbox. So they just need to be able to do better. Yes, they're behind in the game with with their subscription service. They, 5 years ago, Xbox is like, you know what? This is what we're going to do. Sony started their own subscription service first, but didn't go the route that Xbox did. That's on them. Xbox has decided to go all in with their gaming service. Day one games in the Game Pass, and Sony's like, they want that money, that selling games and pushing units. That is what Sony like, their traditional ways. And that now Microsoft is not playing by traditional means. Sony is now is how are they going to have something to confront Game Pass? Because their service without day and date is not doing it. So, in their traditional ways, like Nintendo, that's a whole different monster. They do whatever they want, and their fan base they love it. We want more of, porting over games with no resolution boost and nothing for the same price. And it's funny to see what Microsoft is doing things differently, pushing back, and we're seeing Sony up in arms. We're seeing fanboys up in arms, media up in arms. It's just like everyone's, what about poor Sony? What the fuck you mean poor Sony? They've been doing this shit all last generation, and everyone's like, yeah, kill Xbox. And now Xbox is here to stay, and they're not and they're serious, and they ain't fucking around. And they're like, oh no, these are poor, these are anti-consumer, these are all this. They're just trying to fearmonger. This whole Xbox is like trying to buy up everything. But guess what? It's not really Xbox that's trying to buy up everything. It's Tencent. Tencent is out here putting their hands into every little thing, and you're seeing it. And it's just, you know what? It's good to see, because Microsoft will keep the game, will have the best way for people to be exposed to it, because you got xCloud, PC, console, mobile, because of the streaming service. So it's like they're taking the approach a whole different matter, and Sony doesn't have a way to fight back. And now we're seeing their outcries, and it's like, man the fuck up. You had your opportunity, you didn't take it. I'm sorry, but this is how we're doing things. You can keep doing what you want, but Jim Ryan knows.
Thing is that they can't really at this point, right?
I know.
Because like the one thing they can have the market, like they'll have enough of a market that they can sustain a certain amount of business for the long haul. I mean, PlayStation is a very very strong brand that people love and associate with, and if they could keep doing what they're doing, but if they want to take that, I'm holding a stupid Master Chief gun here. Sorry about that, guys. If they want to go to that next level and ascend past that 150 million cap that Jim Ryan was talking about, they can't just do that, right? And that's like what some of this is all about. And I think Microsoft's opened their eyes a little bit, you know, to the bigger picture here.
They're looking past the traditional ways of gaming, and that's the thing with you know, that's what this new, and people got to remember. I see a lot of things like, oh, but Xbox did that with Tomb Raider, and I'm like, well, the thing with Tomb Raider is Microsoft published that game, but guess what? It was only timed. When we saw PlayStation publishing Streets of Fighter 5, was it just timed? No, that was a console exclusive because they put up money. Microsoft puts up money. They're like, we just want it for a year exclusive, and that's it. And that's what they did. And they still brought it to PlayStation, because at the end of the day, no one should be negated from a third-party game like that. But, you know, Microsoft's like, hey, we'll help you fund the game. But, you know, they're not keeping it from other gamers. Sony, on the other hand, does the opposite. So it to me, when Sony's out here crying, I can't give sympathy to them when they've tried so hard to really get rid of, you know, Microsoft. And so it's just like the boy called Wolf. It's like, yeah, you can't fucking do that shit this time around, you know.
I think when the whole Tomb Raider deal went down, that was like a different Microsoft then too, though. I think that was like
a whole different regime.
I think that was like the tail end of that and going into the new ways of thinking, and then they lost a lot of budget too at that time, right? They didn't have much to work with, and then they had to rewrite the script, right? And they rewrote it. Phil Spencer rewrote this and with this team, and now they're onto a new trend, right? And I think that it's working. It's obviously working. It's changing the entire industry. And it's not just them, it's technology is changing the industry, right? It's because of the tech that's allowing them to do this. If the tech wasn't there, this wouldn't be a thing, you know, but it is. And they're leading with it now and getting on the ground floor. And it's interesting to see like Sony scrambling really like with lawyer speak, you know?
We see how they're doing it, because like Microsoft started putting their games on PC last generation. Now Sony's starting to do it. Like I just got Spider-Man. So that's like Microsoft's just like 5-10 years ahead in certain aspects, and Sony's just now getting into that stage where they're starting to put their games on PC.
Well, Microsoft was in a better position because once Microsoft bought into it, that's when the whole thing flipped the script, bro. Microsoft's okay. We're gonna get behind this because we see the vision, how this is going to impact the cloud and grow, and we're gonna run the subscription model, which they're all for, right? And now it's working, and everybody's like, shit, we can't compete with that value. Where like Xbox is leading with this value proposition, including the family plan that they're supposed to be announcing. It's in the Insider program in Brazil and Ireland. We're going with the $21.99 there. Should be $25 US if it stays that price. Value speaks, right? We talked about this last night, Pong. Like the whole, you know, hey, remember this from our favorite guy Keeley, right? Hey, you know, the PlayStation's HBO and Microsoft is basic cable or whatever and shit, right? So like, well, what if basic cable was cheap as hell, but it still had like the same high quality content, and you could watch it on every single device? When like HBO, you had to only watch it on one thing, and it was crazy expensive, right? That's like, it's not. You can't just say this premium is premium and so it's best, right? Because if you're just selling that for what its name is, and then you're selling the name and you're selling the IPs and you're selling some high quality stuff, but then you have a mountain of fucking value where there's a lot of great stuff. There's like some middle of the road stuff. There's like different things for everybody. And then you spread it across all these different devices and say, hey, family of 5, we only want $25 a month from you. And that's it. You're golden. You can play on whatever the fuck you want. And we're happy. You're subscribed to our service. We got you as a customer. You're going to buy shit within those games too. You're going to grow. It's going to create more gamers, more attention. It's going to grow our market. Thanks for the free advertising for all the people that you tell about our service, because it's so kick ass, because it is so inexpensive and provides great value. And Sony's like, $70 is better because it makes our games better. Trust me, guys. Trust
like
me. And our
they're trying to take
SSD is
Apple-
really fast.
It's like they're trying to be
Trust me,
like
bro.
Apple, but Apple's like a hardware company, not a software company. So PlayStation's model doesn't work out because you're not putting out hardware every year. So it's like I'm not paying fucking premium software.
But it's
shit.
the old school way of doing business, right? And
Yeah.
like it's
So-
To
So
Keely's
sees-
analogy, it'd be better if it was like Sony's pay-per-view to Xbox just being cable, period.
Right. Correct. That's absolutely correct, Fuzzy. And what Sony's seeing right now is the perfect storm brewing before them. And a lot of it, like we talked about last night, Mav, a lot of it they couldn't have foresaw. A lot of it Xbox didn't foresee, right? With the pandy, and then obviously now the recession. All of that is adding to this storm right now because, like you just mentioned, with the family plan coming out, with Xbox having a lower priced device that can give people nearly the same experience, it is a current gen machine. And we already know that the masses don't care if they don't have the top of the line. That is for the enthusiasts. That's for us, right? The top of the line stuff. Most people will gravitate towards the Series S when they walk into shop, and the salesperson says, "Yeah, you can play all the same games on the S. It doesn't matter. That's fine. You can. Do you have a 4K TV? Oh no, you don't. Do you care about 60 frames, 120 frames? Well, the S does that. But if you really don't care about all that, the S is the perfect machine for you. And when that price hits $199." And then you've got the family plan. And then you've got Call of Duty in Game Pass on top of it for the masses. And I'm just talking about the consoles. We're not even getting into everything else. That right there is its own perfect storm. And then you throw in xCloud. Then you throw in TV apps. You throw in phones. You throw in all this other stuff. Nude, HD, XYZ. Great to see you. It's been a while, my friend. Listen, when you throw all that into the mix, Sony sees what's coming. Like they are not dumb. Jim Ryan is a business numbers guy. I'm sure they've run tons of different scenarios and analytics, and they understand, like you're talking about, Mav, the value is going to be undeniable to anybody who does the bare minimum research that parents do during Christmas time and holidays and all that kind of stuff. The bare minimum to the masses is going to show them, why would I buy anything but an Xbox?
There was
like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
So
there was a
that's
meme
what
going
Sony
around
sees.
where you could buy like 3 Series S's in the fucking family plan of Game Pass, and it's like the same price as a PlayStation 5 bundle with like 4 games. It's like,
Right.
I can get
Yeah.
3 Xboxes and just hand them to friends and get a family plan and play 400 games.
Right, exactly, and that's exactly what's going to happen, and that's why that's why they're so concerned right now. Because yes, they'll be fine. They can maintain where they're at to a certain degree, but are they going to lose a part of that 140 million or whatever they sold PS4 wise? Yeah, they're going to lose a portion of that. And to Sony, that's a big thing, because to Sony Corp, the PlayStation is the main breadwinner. And that's the problem. Whereas Microsoft has got tons of different pillars. Xbox is now a pillar, but it's one of the small ones. And so for Xbox and Microsoft overall as a corporation, it doesn't matter. But for Sony, it does. So they're going to either have to take a gigantic risk with their entire corporation and sink a ton of money into PlayStation to start to catch up, or they're going to have to sit back and reevaluate their entire business model, which they're already doing, obviously, with PC and all that stuff. But they're going to have to make a decision. Look, we can't compete on that level, so we're going to have to find our own kind of niche, kind of like Nintendo did, and we're going to have to live in that niche and then try to slowly kind of build out.
Which they can do.
Meanwhile, Xbox is, yeah, they could do, but Xbox is going to be pulling ahead in everything, like constant. I mean, that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah. In a lot of markets too that you wouldn't be expected them to succeed in necessarily, because the cloud thing again is like it's like a Trojan horse, you know, like it just with mobile gaming and the more devices that are going to keep coming out for that as well. We just saw Logitech partnering up with Tencent, and I guess it's also going to have Microsoft games, or Game Pass is going to be playable on that as well and stuff, and for their own handheld, Logitech, and you're going to see other things pop up left and right, I think, with this as the cloud gets better, because who wouldn't want to just be able to play their entire damn games library on the go? And it's not like phones anymore. Like even Switches can play the cloud, right? You have a lot of games come out on Switch that are only playable in the cloud because it's a potato. and they can't really play much natively, right? But you're just seeing like the whole model changing, right? And value always wins, especially if you have good quality within that value. Now, if you just have like the piece of shit, like that's just like crappy, nobody's gonna want it. You know what I mean? But that's not the case here. Look at we've listed all those games coming out, man.
It'd be a different story.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. We listed a bunch of those games coming out last night, Pong, and there's a mountain of games, way more than Sony even has announced right now, right? That we know names for that are coming to Xbox that are going to be in this service. It's pretty damn crazy. Alvin hit us with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Sir Alvin. Let's see if I can scroll up a little bit. He said, our healing era is over. We are now in our DPS era. I hope that recent Xbox tweet was a signal warning. Thanks for the $5 super chat. It's definitely I would say added teeth to those comments. You know what I mean? Back to Sony. They do not want to lose this deal, and they're not going to let Sony play the victim here without recourse, right? And they had to go and educate the regulators to make sure they understood the business and the history of what was going on, right? Also, Lord Rathmus, thanks, man. I appreciate the $5 super chat, £5 super chat. He says, thank goodness for Xbox. Looking back, as Sony had managed to get rid of Xbox, I don't think I would be much of a gamer. I couldn't afford to be. How much do you think games would be, guys? You think
$80?
80, 90?
Probably, yeah.
$100.
75 to 80, yeah.
Yeah.
If the PC market keeps it down too, right? Because PC gamers won't tolerate too much, but like, we still get console taxed to this day. It's literally ludicrous, and you have people sitting out there like, I said ludicrous again, didn't I?
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's back again.
It's Luda. It's ludicrous. It really is that games release a different price on the different platforms when it's like actually has a higher spec technically on PC, right? So it's like, what is the reasoning there? Is it just because? And it is. That's the real answer. It's just because. It's just because they can. And you have people still celebrating and championing $70 games like it's like necessary for the industry.
With only $10 extra, you can feed this hungry dev. He won't have to sleep in his office.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me of that dev that came out and actually was like, hey, I worked hard on this game. I got paid all this money for it. And there's a lot of other people that made this game. It's worth $70. And if you don't think so, don't buy it. Right. And it's like, wow. Okay. Like, you have like the devs championing $70 games. They wouldn't make, and I don't think they make more money if the publisher charges more. I think it just depends on how many copies it sells at whatever the price point is and how much revenue the game brings in as a whole. Right. And so far, we haven't seen necessarily a big success with the $70 games model. It hasn't worked for Sony very well with a lot of their first party games so far, dropping in software sales.
And in reality, I think a lot of the companies give you a bonus if you sell like so many copies, don't they? They're like, yeah, here's like a little bonus check.
They give a bonus on sales in some cases, and they also give a bonus on Metacritic.
Which is absolutely asinine as well.
Which is the worst thing in the world. I can't imagine ever being a dev and being like, yeah, that sounds fair. I'm going to go ahead and sign off on some random know-nothings reviewing my game and giving me a score, as we've seen time and time again over there. No,
they don't even finish the damn games most of the time. And they're like dictating the pay for developers. That's absolutely one of the most stupid things I've ever heard of when I found that out originally. And I get that they want to try and promote quality within their studios, and that's sort of the reason behind it. But you know what? Like, just go.
They're not even in control at the end of the day, because like whoever's up is like, no, we got to put the game out. Like Battlefield, they're like, we got to put the game out. We can't delay it. So it's like,
literally, if I
fucks them over even more.
we know people that in the community that like are on fucking like Metacritic and OpenCritic and stuff like that, and we've seen a lot of reviews from different people and clickbait articles and stuff that get posted on these things. We've seen like there was like a British like magazine that people read on the trains. It's like kind of like a smut mag that does like gaming reviews that actually got like in some of them, and they get rated like games really low a lot of times, and they're in there as well. So like these like dumb little articles from like some people that are just looking for clicks sometimes, right? dictate the amount of money a dev makes more than the $10 extra that Sony would charge, or Activision, or EA, or Ubisoft in this case with Skull and Bones. Do you think that, let me ask this. I know we're getting off track on a little tangent, because whenever $70 games gets brought up, it's like it's a thing for me. But do we think Skull and Bones with Ubisoft, do we think that's the best avenue for for $70 for that game? Or do we think that will help the game or hurt the game?
Hurt it.
The game.
Hurt it.
Hurt it.
Why can't Ubisoft
$40 gaming Game Pass day one? That's what it should be.
Why can't Ubisoft see that? You know, like,
and they had before, because remember when they dropped the price on Extraction right before it dropped? Remember, they figured it out right away, and it probably helped Extraction to have that lower price point and being Game Pass at the same time. But Skull Bone should be in the same spot. Ubisoft should be going, what are we doing? Why are we going to charge this much for this game? This should be, again, I thought it was going to be free to play. That's
I mean,
where I
unless
was
if
at
there's
with
some like magical in-game content that they haven't shown off, but.
And yeah, I just think this should be a max. This should be like Extraction $40 game to start out. That's where I'm at with it, max.
I think even if it was just 60, I think people would be less apprehensive about it if it was just a regular 60. But the minute you go 70, it's like, really? Come on. Like, oh, is there like special controller features in this game or something? Or I just don't get it. Like, I had this conversation with Benji on one of his like live shows before, where it's like, is there yet a $70 game that sold 10 million? And it's kind of yes and kind of no. The only ones that have sold over 10 million at this point are ones that are cross-gen that also have a $60 component. And the $60 component is almost like 80 or 70 or 80% of the sale. So the $70 price point now, I think, is kind of made a lot of people pause and look at, or wait for sales or something like that. And I think with Ubisoft being the type of game company where a lot of their stuff goes on sale, and I know you've said this before, it's like, oh, just give it 3 months and it'll be like 50% off.
3 weeks Black Friday for this one. Black Friday for this one, it's going to be half price.
It'll be, at least $20 off.
Yeah.
It'll be $50. Yeah.
Once the first weekends and they see their sales expectations like half of what they thought, they're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like almost because of how long this game's been developed, we need that extra $10. Instead of looking at the long run, that if they put it at 70, there are more people that will be not, because like Pong said, a lot of people thought it was a free to play game. And then it's $70, and then you see the video, and then it's like, what content are they not revealing that makes it $70? So there's a lot in there that it's a head scratcher. So I don't get it. And then of course unfortunately, it's one of those games
if they're thinking like that, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is going to be like $90 by the time it comes out.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the collector's edition and then no base edition.
Well, that might be on the next gen console, so who knows what the price will be then.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I've seen so many bad takes with this argument, and it's like about the necessity of it and stuff like that. And really it all comes down to, like, for me, the risk versus the reward, right? The publishers are trying to set these price points to where they think it's going to sell enough to where they're going to make the most money, right? And it was a test when they went to 70 because they wanted to see if they would lose any sales that would counteract the amount of money, the extra money that they would make, right? We haven't seen any detraction from monetization of microtransactions in the games. We haven't seen any jump in quality in the games or any extra allotted time to develop these games. In fact, a lot of those games that were $70 are some of the most greedy publishers out there that rush their games out before they're ready. And then also we haven't seen any other improvements. In fact, we've actually only seen decline in sales on a lot of these games. And I haven't seen a reason to say that it's a good thing, especially when you have other games that had a more traditional pricing model go out there and kick ass, right? And guess what? They were in development for a long time too. Like Elden Ring, how long was it? Like 7 years, like I think something like that. 5 to 7 years at least, right? Elden Ring was since we originally started hearing about it and where it came
That was only
out.
last gen only. It wasn't next gen.
Well,
So
and I like how people
what is
people
that?
bring the
It's on PC too, right?
Yeah.
And people bring up to the fact that, you know, this isn't the first time we've seen these prices. If you go back to the 90s, Nintendo and Sega tried this as well, but it failed miserably. And that's why the prices dropped back down again, because yeah, there was $90 Nintendo games, right? There was that, but they couldn't sell. And that was back when they were selling to a much smaller market than we have now. And that's always my point. Yeah, they tried it, but they were selling less copies by like tenfold back then compared to nowadays when you got this pool of, you know, whatever you want to say on a console is 150 million. That's a much bigger pool nowadays. So the fact that, and there was no monetization back then, there was no digital back then, everything, you know, they were paying for the carts to be made.
One and done.
Exactly. That's all it was, right? So nowadays, with how much bigger the audience is, how much more potential you have with monetization, with digital versions costing you a fraction of what the physical versions used to cost you to print.
That was always a thing.
There's no reason for this.
Like people would say, when everything goes digital, the prices of games go down like $10-$20. It's like, no, actually it went up.
Well, that's the other thing too. All other media goes down over time once the platform comes out. And again, how we talked about earlier, where like gaming is the only one that has like, oh, you can only play these games on here or like or whatever. And I think that it's just weird to see the arguments of the opposite. Like at times it comes from the same people that have these other takes about Sony and like their games being superior and that they should be able to keep their marketing rights because it's better for the industry. And I mean, just like weird shit, you know what I mean? Like it's strange to see like people like consumers, right? Consumers championing paying more and getting less.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's also a thing. Like maybe a lot of casuals don't mind it because maybe this is like their first time getting into gaming. Whereas like I remember paying $50 for games back in the day on like an OG Xbox. That was the price, and then 360 went to $6. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. So like maybe it's just like we have a past and a history with gaming, so like we kind of understand like where the prices should be. Like maybe casuals don't have that, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, but also like the younger audiences are not used to paying very much for gaming. They're actually used to paying like nothing for gaming, right?
Yeah, there's more free to play experiences.
Right, there's like the $70 games like Battlefield are competing against Warzone, right? Which is completely free. It's competing against games like Fortnite. It's competing against what's like all those other PC games, right, that are free to play as well. Or other cheaper
the younger
games.
generations are getting used to that now, so they're in for a bigger shock because there's kids right now that don't even get that games cost something out there because they play free to play games all the time, right? So they don't even understand. Like that's not how they're growing up. Beyond just the fact that they don't need hardware to play their games, and they don't have that thing that we have where we get, you know, we play on hardware, we like our hardware. These kids are growing up totally different as well, so all these companies are in for a rude awakening when these generations start growing up and are like, why are you charging me for a game? Like what is this? what are we doing? If I want to buy some costumes in your game, okay, cool, I'm cool with that, but charging me up front, what? No, give me free.
And especially if
had
the in-game
like
content
Fortnite, as far as when it went like cross progression and everything. It's like, wait, I bought these skins on Nintendo. Why are you giving me a problem on PlayStation or PlayStation? I bought the skins while I was playing on PlayStation. Now I'm on PC. Wait, where are my skins? Why can't I get those same ones that I already paid for? So yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough fight for these companies later on.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing that people that I've seen. Like right now, we're about to get it into a pretty major recession here if things don't shape up. And when they look, I know, but it's going to affect the market more in gaming. A lot of developers and a lot of studios have said and have came out like, you know, people are like, oh no, the gaming industry is not recession proof. So with Game Pass and gamers having a smaller way to get into gaming, like with Game Pass, you're only putting what, $10-15, $25 for a family of 5 or so, and it's just that $70 game price point is going to hurt a lot of these studios a lot if they keep going and pushing this, and they try to get greedy. And we're seeing Sony's doing it. Jim Ryan's trying to be like, no, we need to start doing a little bit with the subscription service so we can get residual money income coming in more than just the $70 price point, because we only have what was it, a couple of these games, like 10-20 million copies is like what they usually sell at, like the best selling games. Like really, like 10, I mean, you had the 140 or 100 and what, 10 105 million consoles, and you're only selling 20%, like 20%.
They have
of
more
your
than
fan
that.
base.
Supposedly, was it like how many PS4s and PS5s total?
It's at least 117 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
120 or something like
Yeah.
that.
But the big thing is, how many of us here have had more than one PS4? So they're counting each one of those PS4s. Like I know in my house we've had 2 PS4s, and I still have them, and my PS5, and I bought 2 PS4s as gifts for family. So those count, but I'm not buying software for all of them, and I game share with my wife's console. So it was like, okay, I buy the game once, it's playable on both PlayStations. So the best they're going to get is a 50% attachment rate, but I'm not buying every game that they put out. And it's
exactly
just,
that.
it sucks.
So and that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a shift in how people come into the gaming market, and they see Microsoft as a value. And like what Pong and you said, Mav, last night, I believe, is that, hey, if I got to get rid of subscription services, or I need to, tighten up my wallet, I'll keep the $25 because the whole family plays, and they'll keep Game Pass because they get day and day games, they get a great experience, so they and they'll keep that $70 game. They might not buy it if they had some, if you might have some extra bucks, maybe you'll buy a copy or two.
That reminds me, I've worked with someone, and they're like, yeah, I only play Sony games, but I'm not buying $70 games. They can go fuck themselves. Like I was like, I always wait for a sale. I'm like, why do you only play Sony things?
Wow. I'm just a fan of those kind of games, I guess. You know what I mean? Like if you're a fan of like those Sony games, we all know the kind of games we're talking about, right? Like, then you know what? Like, that's great. And they're still that's why they're always gonna have that audience. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even if they have to wait for sales or whatever, they're always gonna have that audience and stuff. But like again, I think they're missing out on the bigger picture of the wider, more mass market, and they can still put out great quality games and appeal to more people, and grow their audience even more using their brand. And like, if they came out and really started to really try and compete with the subscription service and really tried, and maybe they can't right now just because they need more studios, they need more acquisitions, they need more people to make more different kinds of games, right? That's one of the reasons they're in these acquisition phase, because what they have now is capable of doing so much. Like, that's why Microsoft's been stocking up their stable, right? Because that's what it takes to run this kind of service. But like, Sony could start a little bit better than what they are right now.
They would have to switch off doing timed exclusive and do it day ones into the service instead of doing just timed exclusive deals. But,
right. They got to stop shilling out money for stupid shit that has worked in the past. Start shilling out money for things that are going to bring you recurring revenue, right? Instead of just like the one-off deals that you're trying to attract people to the platform. I think Sony's got people sold on the name PlayStation, right? It stands for something, and if they keep coming out
it's just like Apple.
It's
just like Apple. They've convinced their consumers that they're getting that premium experience that they can't get anywhere else, and overpaying is worth it. That's what they've done.
And if you can sell The Last of Us 1 5 times probably, and people are still going to come out in droves and buy it, right? God of War, you got a lot of those great games, great franchises, and there's synonymous with Sony, as they should be, because they're their games, right? But in order to have that subscription service really going, it takes more than those 4 games a year, you know? And it's going to take those third-party deals. It's going to take getting more of these variety, because there's only a certain type of audience that really loves those games, right? It's a big audience. It's a very large audience, but not even as large as the amount of people that own the console itself, right? Because like you said, the attach rate, we were at 117 million PS4s roughly or so. And how many copies of Horizon Forbidden West and GT7 sold?
Combined, I think it was
6.4
6.4 million or something.
Yeah, 6.4 to something around that, right? So for me, I'm saying like, okay, GT7 is like a live service type game. It's got microtransactions, all this stuff in it as well. You should be able to make money the more people get access to it, and you also need a reason to get people to subscribe to your extra and premium services instead of just staying in essentials. So why not put that game in there? You know what I mean? Like, there's certain decisions that they could make that would help that speed along, and they're not doing it because they are so begrudgingly not wanting to do this. They don't want to do it yet, right? But they came out with the service because they kind of felt like they had to, I think.
How is MLB The Show not in the service yet?
Probably because of the Game Pass deal. Because the Game Pass deal is keeping it from going into PlayStation Plus.
I doubt that.
If it's anything like the contracts,
no, because I'm sorry to interrupt, but because what is it? Bugsnax is in Game Pass, but it is also
well, it's individual contract based too. Maybe Microsoft said that you can only put it on Game Pass service.
But that's a third party game too. It's not a Sony game, right? Bugsnax. So that publisher could do whatever and sell individual rights.
First rights.
But MLB The Show is a Sony game, right? And I don't know if because of how big that game was, you know, if that was a situation to where maybe they came out and was like, okay, this is going to be Game Pass and this is going to be in our subscription service. And that's why you have things like Ubisoft has like some games on PS Plus, but they have some games in Game Pass. There's not as much crossover. You know what I mean? Like Valhalla is in PS Plus, right? But we got Origins and Odyssey and all that shit in Game Pass, right? Or you got Far Cry 4 in PS Plus, and you got Far Cry 5 in Game Pass. You know what I mean? So I think there's like deals that go where you can't have necessarily, it depends on the contracts on both. Just like movies and TV shows. That's the way they do movies, right? Like hey, for a timed period, we're going to put this on this platform. And then let's say this movie leaves Netflix, then it can go on to Amazon Prime, or it can go to Hulu or whatever. But you don't see a lot of those movies go on to both at the same time, right? So it's kind of the same thing with that, I think, is how they're treating it. There may be
also,
some crossover.
Sony's just trying to get as much money as possible out
agree.
of it.
I don't know. It's weird. It's just it's a shook up Sony, I think, this generation. They just don't know how to handle a Xbox backed or a Microsoft backed Xbox. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the show was when did the show come out? March, right?
Opening day.
Right.
So
maybe April. Right. So I think the newest game that they have in PS Plus from PlayStation is actually like 16 months old, I think.
I think was Tiny Tina Wonderlands. Was that just a trial, or was
I'm talking about PlayStation Studios, not third party. Third party, they even had Stray was day one, right?
Yeah.
So, but from like actual PlayStation Studios, I think the oldest game at launch of the service was 14 months, which was a newest game was Returnal, right?
Yeah.
So, I just think they could do more than they are right now. You know.
Do you guys think like the games like Days Gone, like they have come out and said that it didn't do well, but fans love the game? Those type of games, could they possibly just go into their game service like, oh, we didn't make it on the $70 end, but we'll throw it in the subscription service and make it back that way, possibly as like a backup to make some more money off the game?
I think it's in there. The only thing I wish I'm pretty sure they're looking at the analytics of how many people are playing it while it's in the service and stuff. And I think Days Gone was even one of those games that was part of that PS5 collection thing where if you had just regular PS Plus, you got this mini collection before they did the service. But it would make sense to have that as a backup. So like with was it Horizon Forbidden West and GT7, since they didn't necessarily do the 10 or 20 million sales numbers that they probably were hoping for, putting it in the service would, to at least to me, make sense. I mean, I don't know. Sony, yeah, I think you're right. They're definitely shook this generation.
Yeah. This is not the same Sony that we saw in the PS4. So it's like it's interesting.
No, it's exactly the same Sony.
Well, okay. It's not they're not as dominant as they have been. They're not cocky. They strutted in the beginning, and then Microsoft kind of like slapped them a little bit, and then they slapped them again, and now they're like they're carring like, no, we're playing even, but we can't, and it's one of those things.
Yeah, I think they started out trying to be the same and maybe even go even more with that identity, like really oversell that, right? Hey, this has been what's working, the quality, the premium stuff, so we're going to really double down on that image, right? Only on PlayStation. This is the only place to get actual true next gen games. Remember all this shit? Like, and guess what? We believe in generations and all of these things. And like this whole thing just kind of like spewing BS to like the fan base, right? And then our games are worth $70. Even our director's cuts, we're remastering PS4 games and adding haptic feedback and resolution and FPS boost. Those are going to be worth the extra money. Trust me, guys. And then all this stuff, it's just, then they're coming out and seeing what's happening on the other side with like Microsoft's, wow, people are liking this. I thought everybody hated Xbox,
The obvious tell that Sony's trying to do this is like, we want to be that premium brand, is they made the PlayStation 5 look like a fucking spaceship or whatever instead of just making a box. It's like,
yeah, I feel like it should make noise like a spaceship taking off when I turn it on.
It's like they went for looks over just like function.
Yeah. Shizno brought up a good point. The chat says, how do we share games again, Sony? Like, if they now, if the $25 Game Pass thing, family plan, comes out, right, and actually hits like and gets mass appeal and stuff, I want to see Microsoft please come out and be like, this is how you share games, and have like a kid on an iPad. I want to have like the mom like at her PC. I want to have the dad on his Xbox. I want to have a teenager like on the fucking fridge. I want to have like grandpa on the dashboard of the Jeep Grand Cherokee in the passenger seat. I want to have Uncle Buck upstairs on the fucking TV app, and everybody.
This is a weird family.
You know what it is? Yeah, everybody is playing the same game and their subscription and Game Pass Ultimate, and $25 flash on the screen.
Yeah.
Right. And then I want to see Sony come out and do like, this is how you share a game, and hold their physical box and go like call up their friend. Hey, can you come over? I got a game to share. Hey, please don't scratch my fucking disc, bro. And give him the game. Right. Which, and also like the other thing is like, that whole thing was BS because like 80% of their games now are digital sales, right? You can't do that with digital, right? But you can with this plan, right? So, it's just like interesting, like how much has changed since 2013, right? And we see kind of how far ahead like Xbox was thinking even back then, where it kind of slapped in their face. It didn't work out now, but now's the time, and they're doing it the right way, focusing on gaming, right? First and value. Right. So, man, it's crazy to see the reactions out there in the industry. And we're going to see even more, because once that onslaught goes, that avalanche of subscribers really starts doubling down into the ecosystem. Sony's going to have to step up that PS Plus game. I really think so.
No, they don't have to. They already got 45 million users. Xbox Land is 30.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Flick the switch, and that was the original PS Plus.
It's the same thing. PS Plus Essentials has about 44 probably, and then like what was PS Now rolled into PS Extra and Premium. Now it probably has about 3 million plus whatever. They probably got some new subscribers. I think overall their services revenue was up 2%. So and that's year over year. Now remember they had lost some subscribers, right? So there must have been some come back and subscribe to this service. And I think that overall they probably got a little boost, but they're competing
you
against.
Signed up for it, didn't you?
I did, because it was only a little bit to convert my subscription over. And guess what? I got to play Stray day one. I didn't have to buy it. So it added value. They got me because it was cheaper to do that, right? And now I have more things to look forward to and play in there. And if they don't announce more stuff by the time that this period is over, I'm gonna cancel it. You know what I mean? And that's why they got to bring out the content, dude. They got to bring out the content to keep those players invested into that ecosystem, because if not, they're going to be relegated into that Nintendo style, but not as much, right? So it'll be interesting. Well, guys, it's been 2 hours. Kate just
Sure.
because I didn't go to her because I didn't know about I didn't think she had anything damn thing to say about this topic. So I miss you, babe. Love you, babe. And I want to make sure everybody knows where to find you. So we'll get started with the outros. I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. I see lots of awesome people. What's up, Lemon? How's it going, dude? What's up, John 907? Talos Re. I was here pretty much the whole show. Lord Roughness, Shizno Elite, Invader. What's up, Invader? How's it going, man? I appreciate everybody hanging out. Alvin, again, Fifth Horseman. What's up, dude? Gil Gamesh. What's up, Gil Gamesh? Lots of awesome people. Focus Active. I saw you. Spooky. I saw you sharing those pictures of the Xbox Ultimate on your TV, bro. Appreciate that. Def Leopard. Man, so many freaking cool people here. It's nice when we have real people in the chat. You know what I mean? And
real people are great.
Yeah, so appreciate real people. And thank you all. Hey, anybody watching this after the fact, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about Xbox's comments, what you think about the cloud gaming of potential games that you own coming to the cloud. Also with all these delays. Let us know what you think about that. Check us out also on audio platforms. We got Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all that stuff. Xbox Ultimate is there. Listen to wherever you please. And also reviews on those sites do help the discoverability of the show as well. So appreciate that. But yeah, check out Kate on TikTok at Kaitlin_fancy or on Twitter at KaitlinX0615 as well. And we'll see. Who should I go to first? And this is gonna be interesting because I think last week Jasper did Pong's whole outro word for word. But I think it'd be unfair to not let Pong actually get a full outro himself this time. So we'll start with Pong Soul. Pong Soul, where can everybody find you, bro?
So you just fucked everyone else on the panel.
Yeah, fucked everyone else on the panel. Yeah.
No, I just made you all step up your game. That's all. That's all it's doing.
Well, no one's stepping up.
No one's gonna step up. No, listen, fam, it was great. Brothers and Kaitlin, it was awesome, obviously, to be back here again doing this on a Friday night. Last week was so amazing with our 100th episode. Obviously, again, love you all. And it's just great to spend Friday nights here. So great discussions. It was interesting to hear different takes after Mav and I had talked about a lot of this last night. It's just always awesome to come here and have you guys talk about it too and see what you guys think. But great show. Chat, you guys were amazing. So many familiar faces each and every week, like Mav said. Nothing but respect for you all. And of course, you can find me Pong Soul on Xbox. You can find me Pong Soul on Twitter. But tomorrow morning, you know what it is. Set those alarms now while you're listening to this so you don't forget, because Living Split Screen is coming. That's right. Me and my brother Steel Rain are going to talk a lot about this and a lot of other topics that are out there. So be there, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. Again, set those alarms, 3 p.m. BST time for you UK people. Can't wait to see you. And then tomorrow night, the Shop podcast with PTK Blam, our brother Fuzzy, who is here as well, and myself. And we got another brother showing up tomorrow night. That's right. Psychonauts is going to be there as
Psycho's
well.
going to be there. Wow.
Yeah.
On the shop.
Yeah, Psycho. On the shop. He is going to show up. So we are going to have a fantastic time. PTK Blam's channel, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. End your Saturday night the right way with the Shop Podcast. Otherwise, Tuesdays, Xbox Factor Podcast. Hit or miss, more misses lately. It is what it is, but you know you got to check out Double Barrel Gaming's channel, Mr. Boomstick, the man, all good things green every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. And then Thursdays, it's PM in the PM. If you missed last night's episode, go check it out. Mav and I were on fire last night with a lot of these same topics, but we obviously got to deep dive them as a two-man team kind of thing. So it was fantastic. Go check that out every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time. Otherwise, be back here next Friday night, God willing, life willing. I will be here. But otherwise, it is the golden age of gaming, people. Get out there. Go play something. Enjoy it. Even with these delays, it doesn't matter. You got to have a back catalog. Otherwise, I don't know what you're doing. So go out there, play something. Play what you love what you play. And I'll see you tomorrow morning, Living Split Screen. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody. Love y'all.
Is there any chance that Living Split Screen is going to get delayed?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I think we're gonna go. I think we're good.
I'm glad because we need some stuff to stay on track here. Jasper, follow it up, bro.
Yeah. Anyway, you know where to find me. It's Twitter, Lord Jasper, Lord Master Jasper on YouTube, and it's FSP is Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern. Got Fuzzy. Psycho 3-bit, was he on this week? I don't remember, but he should be joining us.
He was on a plane still.
Yeah, he was on a plane. So
yeah.
3-bit, you should get back to podcasting instead of just having to go to Mav's house and do it. You have a computer at your house. You can do it. It's not that hard. Then we got Xbox Ultimate, the show you're watching right now. It starts at 9 Eastern. 9 Eastern on Friday nights. Just stick to Fun Speculation channel.
Yeah. He did mine a lot better than his own. Let me tell you.
I can't add your shit to mine. Anyway, Golden Age of Gaming. I'm playing a PlayStation game on PC. That's what is amazing about Golden Age of Gaming. You can play it anywhere. Play it what you love.
Yeah, and he's having fun with that Spider-Man too. Yeah. Finally,
and love what you play.
Yeah. And play what you love and love what you play. Isn't that right, Fuzzy Belvedere, the always fuzzy one? Where can everybody find you, bro?
Oh, it was awesome being on here with you guys. It's always a blast. And thanks to the chat for everybody that came out to watch us. And for those that will watch at a later time, it was awesome having you join us. For those that want to hear my ramblings on anything gaming, just follow me on Twitter at Fuzzy_Belvedere. You can find me on YouTube, Fuzzy_Belvedere. You can also find me tomorrow, like Pong and like Pong was saying, as far as we're going to be on the Shop Podcast, PTK Blam's channel, 9 p.m. Saturday. You already know the deal. FSP Monday, like Jasper said, 10 p.m. Eastern time. And then you can also find me on Breakfast with Boom Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then right back here, Xbox Ultimate at 9 p.m. next Friday. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. You know what? I think we'll start doing a thing where, like, if it's like you're all on this channel, maybe you don't have to say it on the outros. That way we can like cut off half of Pong's. You know what I mean? No, you don't think so? Like,
why are you trying to do that? People enjoy it.
You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
Come on now. Do you see Vince McMahon coming out and telling his wrestlers they got to cut down half their act? No, because they love it. Give the people what they want.
So to you, the outro is an act.
It's a part. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a part
so
of my
next
spiel.
week
That's
we're
how
gonna
I
come
got
in.
it memorized.
Yeah.
So next week I'm going to come in with an intro with like smoke and lights and music or whatever.
I said that I want that. Steele and I talked about that. It would be amazing to have wrestling intros. If we could do actual licensed music, oh my god.
My god. That would be like almost like baseball too, with a walk up to the plate, right?
Yes. It would be awesome.
You're right. And you know, one of my favorite intros ever was Reverend Pong. You know, that you put on a little show for that as well.
Yeah, I did.
That was the first big delays announcement we had was Starfield and Redfall. So I did it. You're right, man. It's a part of the thing. Psychonauts, put on a show. Where can we find you?
Yeah, you guys find me everywhere. No, chat. Thanks for coming out tonight. You guys been fantastic.
Be a professional,
always
Psycho.
love to see it. I'm always professional because that's what we are, professional podcast. And
except when you're banging everybody's mom.
That too, But hey, someone's got to do it.
I thought it was just Jasper's.
Everyone, check me out. Psychonauts everywhere on social media. As Pong said, I will be on the Shop Podcast tomorrow. Find us there. It's going to be a effing great time. So please come out. Mondays, check us out. FSP with sometimes 3-bit Jasper, Mav,
sometimes,
and here always
on
Xbox Ultimate, Mav, Jasper, Fuzzy, Pong, me, your wife, maybe Pong, depends. We'll see. Everyone, thanks for coming out. Love what you play, play what you love, and
that's backwards.
We'll see you around. Oh shit! Oh, hold on. And do you smell what the psycho's smoking?
I definitely did when you were visiting. That's for sure. Yeah, everybody, thanks again to chat. You guys rock. Shout out to Hargeet hopping in here as well. Yes. Saw you, Razor as well. Appreciate everybody again. So check out. If you haven't checked out our 100th episode, like, I'd still recommend doing that because it's a fun as hell time seeing 3-bit and Psycho here and everything. And then guys, appreciate you all. Monday we got FSP coming up, like these guys said like 5 times already now. And then Thursday is PM in the PM with my buddy down there, Pong Soul. And we'll see, maybe we got more delays to talk about next week. Y'all ready? It's always fun to get topics when we get delays, right? Don't you want those topics? Exciting news like delays, right? And then Friday is always here at 9 p.m. Eastern time for Xbox Ultimate Podcast. And we'll see you real soon. Bye, everybody. Have a good one. Take it easy.
See ya, brothers.
Bye, brothers.
Oh, yeah.
All right. What was that? I was trying to do a wrestler thing. That came out weird. Bye.